Elizabeth Warren was caught off guard. You gotta look at this.
Oh dear, are you worried that billionaires are going to go hungry?
No, I'm worried that they're going to leave and spend their money elsewhere.
During a CNBC appearance, Warren bounced between tangents, endlessly praising Mandami as the greatest thing since sliced bread, until the host stepped in and reminded her of basic economic realities she couldn't sidestep.
By raising taxes and making it more onerous for business, tax revenues come from that you'd ultimately be dealing with a smaller pie. He may succeed by driving everybody out. Rents will go down.
And today, we're covering it all. So if you believe truth isn't partisan, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
New York does not operate in a vacuum. It competes with other cities. And so this idea of somehow raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers, who, by the way, I would point out, pay roughly 15% of their income right now between city and state, raising taxes on them will simply drive them away. Shouldn't the focus of a mayor be on delivering services to the constituents of the city and doing that by raising the most revenue as possible without chasing businesses and the high income taxpayers out of the city? Because they can go to Austin, they can go to Dallas, they can go to Atlanta, they can go to Nashville. This is your issue. It's a national issue, not a local issue.
The issue is affordability. Do you know how many working families are chased out of New York City every day because they can't afford housing, they can't afford groceries, they can't afford childcare? What Zoran is saying is, I want people to be able to afford to live in New York City. That's what keeps it a vibrant city. That's what makes people want to live
Nobody
here.
disagrees with that, Senator, but raising taxes in order to do it? Why is that the answer?
Oh dear, are you worried that billionaires are going to go hungry?
No, I'm worried that they're going to leave and spend their money elsewhere.
And that has happened with multiple businesses across California. For instance, Chevron has been operating in the state since 1879, but they recently announced they're moving the headquarters to Houston, Texas. The company estimates this would save them $201 million annually in just operational costs. Countless others have followed suit, like SpaceX, Tesla, Oracle, Charles Schwab, and many more. In fact, a recent report by the Public Policy Institute of California found that, quote, 1.9% of the state's 47,000 headquarters left between 2011 and 2021, representing 77,600 jobs, primarily in manufacturing and business services. And the thing is, when a progressive gets into office, you can bet businesses will be faced with layer after layer of restrictive regulation, which is another factor that drives economic activity away.
They've threatened to do that over and over and over.
And they have. They've left.
But here's the thing.
And Goldman Sachs, when they create new jobs, they do it in Dallas. And Blackstone won't build a new headquarters. They go on and on.
You want to have a workable city? You want to have a city that's vibrant? You want to have a city where the streets are full, where there are things for sale 24 hours a day? Then you need people who can live here and work here.
Well, we've got that right now, by the way. I would point out New York is thriving. So now it's doing pretty well, actually.
I'm glad you think they're doing well, because a lot of people are struggling to pay for housing. A lot of people are struggling to pay for groceries. And I got to tell you, mamas and daddies who are facing $25,000 a year to pay for childcare.
Those are national issues. I mean, I know they are the local state, but you can't.
New York City.
Yes, but if you deal with them in that way, by what is always your backup, just tax them more, they will leave.
No, the backup is make this city and make this country work for everyone. I get that the Republican point of view is make this country and make every city in this country work better and better for a handful of billionaires and let everybody else eat dirt.
It's kind of ironic how Elizabeth Warren, of all people, is talking about affordability. You see, when we saw record inflation under the previous administration, she tried shifting the blame from Bidenomics and put it as corporate price gouging. It got so absurd that even Politico called her out on it, releasing a piece titled, quote, "The left's excuses for inflation are getting more absurd." The host went on to explain how Mandami might not end up achieving a lot of what he promised, simply because it falls outside the mayor's authority. And that's when she completely lost it. But before we play that, a quick reminder. Our merch store is live. And if you're looking for great gifts for your loved ones, or especially for yours truly, it has an amazing collection. Plus, every purchase helps us continue bringing you stories the media tries to bury. So make sure you check it out through the link in the description. Now back to the video.
Clear he has the ability to actually do it, by the way, based on the laws and what the governor has to say and what he would actually have to do.
You know, I love that as the fallback position, and that is he's fighting for the right thing, but maybe the billionaires will have a way to
everybody
block
wants
him.
a more affordable city. There's no doubt about that. The question is how you go.
I actually do have a doubt about that. The
build more
billionaires
housing.
sure don't want to pay their part on this.
You build more housing. You do try to make it more affordable, but it is a very difficult thing to do. You know that around the country. Yeah. This is not an issue that just here in New York. It's everywhere.
But it's not an issue that Eric Adams was fighting for. It's certainly not an issue that Andrew Cuomo was fighting for.
I think the mayor would say they have been trying to focus on building as many new.
Mamdani is the one who said, I will make this a priority. And you know what he said? He said, I'm really going to lean in on childcare. I'm really going to lean in on housing. And I'm even going to try some new things to bring down the cost of groceries.
So it doesn't concern you that
I'm not going to sit around and pretend, it's a federal problem. Let the federal government fix this.
You can say all these things, but again, I think many people would disagree to the extent that by raising taxes and making it more onerous for business that create the jobs, that create the revenues on which tax revenues come from, that you'd ultimately be dealing with a smaller pie.
Exactly. The fact is, Warren has spent most of her life as a career politician. She didn't build a company. She didn't take real financial risks. So it's easy for her to say, tax more, spend more, and redistribute more. That's where the problem is. People with little understanding of how the real economy works end up making decisions that shape everyone else's lives. For instance, in 2021, she pushed for an annual wealth tax on households worth more than $50 million, claiming it would generate $4 trillion to rebuild America's middle class. What's funny is that Elizabeth Warren herself is a multi-millionaire, as Forbes estimated her net worth to be $12 million back in 2019. So she effectively wants to target those above her wealth bracket, not herself though, because that'll go against the spirit of socialism.
Best way to run city government or national government is to start with the billionaires and say what will work best for you. Vote Republican.
I don't think anybody in New York is talking about doing that.
If you don't, then let's make the city more affordable. Let's make the country more affordable. And the way we do that, let's focus on housing. Let's focus on groceries. Let's focus on childcare. Donald Trump
These are your
ran.
issues. These are national issues.
Trump
you deal with
ran
that.
For
That's not,
and New York should just say, all we want is the
mayor of New York
pay
should
whatever
focus on delivering the most services to the citizens of the city and make it a point of improving life for them.
Your fellow New Yorkers have said he should focus on affordability. This is why they have voted for Mamdani, and that's why today I will be here to talk about his plans on childcare, why people are talking about his plans. He's going to experiment to try to bring down grocery costs in food deserts. God bless him on that. He's going to try some things. When was the last time you saw America say, I'm going to try something?
You think
for
somebody who has
families
absolutely no experience, 33-year-old socialist, is going to succeed as the mayor of New York?
Yes, I do.
Experiment? He's doing a lot of work here. These ideas weren't hypothetical. They're already being tried. Just look at Oregon. Even the New York Times didn't sugarcoat it. In an article about a socialist-run city, they summed it up plainly, saying, quote, too extreme, too inexperienced, an absolute disaster. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, keep thinking.